All right, let's go, guys. Hey, YouTube. Welcome to episode 8 of Three Gods No Lion. Honestly, dude, this show's been a fucking journey. It's been a journey of self-reflection, of growth, of crying, of everything. I just can't state it enough. We've been doing everything, and it's like been like point after point of just crying and tearing up and then crying again and questioning yourself and all of that. As Kaius put it, if there's one Gatsu, or where's one Gatsu and two Gatsu, we're in three Gatsu, we're in Sun Gatsu, no Lion. Anyway, with that being said, why don't we go jump into it? Wait.
この世のすべてを手に入れた男、海賊王ゴールド・ロジャー。彼の死に際に放った一言は、人々を海へ駆り立てた。
Sangatsu is a little weird today. This is not the Hina I know. Sorry, guys. I have to troll you. Even if, yeah, dude, I'm about to spend. Oh, it's only 100 episodes in here. The next 1,000 episodes going through this. Oh, wait, my bad. 1,054 episodes. That's one Gatsu. Now let's go on to Sangatsu, guys. April Fool's Cape. It always comes early, brother. It always comes early. All right, you guys ready? Now for real. Happy St. Paddy's Day to everyone. Oh God, if it'll work. Yo, Brady, weren't you streaming right now? Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. I thought you were streaming right now, brother. I swear, I was like, wait a minute. Isn't Brady on right now? You were. How, dude, yeah. How'd you deal with that, dude? It's like streaming for a couple hours. It's like draining, brother. How you doing? You doing good? You surviving? Guys. Are we getting the cat song again? Oh, we're learning Shogi, guys. So rooks. Wait, okay, that's interesting though. That's interesting because doesn't that mean that rooks in general, like at least in Shogu, so they can't turn around, doesn't that limit their effectiveness, i.e. you can only use them effectively once per row or once per round in that case? Whoa, hold on. Knight, typical knight. Oh, that was not a rook. Oh yeah, well, whatever it was called.
クールな攻めの主役、身軽で攻守に優れているにゃ。金賞、王様を守る心強いボディーガード。王様の近くが好き。だから敵の王様の近くに寄っていって捕らえるのも大好き。必殺、最強の戦士、まさに勇者にゃ。縦横自在にどこまでも飛べるにゃ。老若男女すべてのにゃにモテモテにゃ。
That's the rook, yeah.
はるか斜めに睨みを利かせる重量級ミサイル。いつも捨て身の論理以外、攻撃に気を取られ、防御に脆いところがあるから気をつけ。
I love the fact that a lot of it's Crimson Demon, guys. Like, if you guys were here for that, dude, that was magical. I can't thank you guys enough for doing that in the Konosuba movie. You guys made that complete and utter magic. But also, I love the fact that you can tell that some of the pieces are very similar to like the chess pieces in terms of understanding and stuff. Like, yeah, like understanding at least some of the chess pieces and sort of the rules of movement makes understanding Shogi, I think, a little bit easier than need say.
だから蝶よ花よと大事にしてにゃ。王様だけ全部の方向に行けるの？すごい。そう、だって王様だからね。しかも彼、いざとなったらかなりのファイターでもあるんだ。そっか、駒にはいろんな そう、さらにこの将棋ランドのニャーのすごいとこは一歩一歩進んで敵の陣地にたどり着いたらなんと
あと一歩で敵の陣地に
They get promoted?
できるんだ。
Okay.
だろ
That makes sense.
二階堂め。しかしこの本結構わかりやすいな。どこから出てるんだ？
He is.
出版社名がない。バーコードも。
He
値段も書いてないし、でもやけに豪華な。
That's what I was like, he probably drew this just to the like, yeah, oh dude. That's awesome. That's legit probably one of the best moments out there. By the way, guys, trying to make coffee jelly sometime. It's great. My thing with this is a lot of times even experts, even in the psychology field, and I know Brady will agree with this, we overcomplicate shit, right? We get into a form of education where we get to learn pretty much everything there is to learn about psychology, or as much as we can. We cram all this information for years and years and years, and we go out into these populations and we're talking to them in this terminology and stuff, but it doesn't mean anything to them, because at the end of the day, we're not talking to them at their lingual state. If I'm talking, like, let's say that I'm talking to you guys about paratexic distortions and attachment theory and all of these things, and your education was maybe below high school, none of that's gonna fucking matter to you, because you don't understand where that's coming from. And it's the same approach when talking with other people, right? For example, if we met randomly and someone's talking to you at like a very verbose, very high level thing, you might say, hey dude, like, is that just the way you talk? Because it can sound kind of condescending, you know? Or it's watching yourself, which is great. That's why I like it's. First I heard of that made me go, what's that? But that's a big thing, is, you know, how do we express ourselves and why? And also, like, what language? Because, for example, if you're multilingual, right, or a polyglot or whatever, are you most comfortable expressing yourself in? If you're a kid, maybe you're not comfortable expressing yourself with words. That might be pictures. You might be better at understanding stuff with pictures than there are with words, or artistically through pictures, because a lot of kids can't even, like, they don't understand, or they can't fully process what trauma they just went through. So that's why it's like, when you interact with others, and especially in this teaching moment, it's always interesting, JP. You get a lot of wild answers through that. But when it comes to a scenario like this, one of the big questions that I'm even asking myself is, how are they, like, I don't know how to put it. How would you approach, for example, I'm going to throw this question out to you guys, and you guys are on Twitch. A kid that just went through trauma, that can't really express himself, how would you get them to open up about what they just went through? It's not as simple as you guys may think. And I think that that's the number one thing that I'm getting at. But when it comes to teaching, matching someone's initial language, or how they reference themselves, or how they're talking to themselves, huge. That's what makes it relatable.
二階堂、これまさか。うん、俺が書いた。
Aww.
くれたか。
私もこんなの書けるようになりたい。
わかりやすく書けてるだろうか。
Aww.
素晴らしい出来でございます。感激でございます。
実は小さい頃から絵を描くのは大好きでな。この趣味を少しでも普及に役立てられればと思ったのだ。で、せっかくだから大東京印刷さんにお願いして簡単な感じでまとめていただき、二階堂家の新年パーティーで親族に配ったんだ。うわっ、すごい。
If this was a book in English, I'd buy it off of Amazon right now. I don't care if it was through Amazon Publishing. I would buy it, like, right now. Like, I need to learn how to play shogi. Like, you know, I need to know how to play shogi now, dude. And y'all are gonna help me learn. I'm already like at chess, but now I need to expand my repertoire. Super fancy.
いや 二人とも興味を持ってくれてよかった。まあ細かいルールはおいおい察しながら伝えていくのが一番だからな。ま、1日目にしては上出来だな。おおむね我々はよくやったであろう。うん、こういう小さな一歩一歩を積み重ねた上に未来というものがあるのだから。
駅はこっちじゃないですよ。どこまでついてらっしゃるので。
どこって桐山の家に決まってるであろ
え決まってませんけど、ませんよね。
う。大丈夫。親友の家に泊まるのに何の遠慮がいるものか。
I love Nikaido, dude. Nikaido just like auto invites himself in many ways. But my thing is, seeing how passionate he was last episode. Yeah, he's a good bro. Seeing how passionate he was last episode about like a wake-up call, a legit wake-up call and whatnot. He does. I think he might be. Well, he's definitely more in tune in terms of his emotions and whatnot. But you know how I've always said, like, when you're in a deep hole, it's hard to get out of it alone, and sometimes our connections help us, like, slowly step out of it. I think Nikaido, in a way, like, it's very retrospective, the way that he helps our main character here slowly start taking those steps forwards while being called out, while also he himself growing and making friends and all of these things, these comparisons that have happened. Even while seeing him as a rival, it's still like, hey, you're a rival, but you're also a friend, and you're also someone that I'm growing with, you know? Nikaido is a good bro. Nikaido is one of the best bros.
桐山様、春信様、お帰りなさいませ。
遅くなってしまってすまなかった。よろしく頼む。これは右側のクローゼットの手前に。
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
いやー、桐山の家は生活用品がなかなか揃えられないのが気にかかっていてな。良い機会だと思い見繕わせていただいたよ。このベッドは折りたたむとソファーにもなる優れもの。
He's a true bro, but he takes the bed.
ぜひ使ってくれたまえ。遅くなってしまったけれどね、君への引っ越し祝いだよ。
Let's talk about that a little bit, right? Can you force someone to change? If someone came into your environment, right? Because I love throwing this out there, right? And this is why I'm scared of a relapse for this character. You can force someone to change, but the relapse in that might be big, right? In an environment where he was already starting to think a little bit about, like, you know, like, oh wow, like maybe I should get some drapes for the window. Maybe I should do this for that, right? It would take a moment to, exactly, JP, the relapse would be huge. It takes a moment, it takes one split second so that like stuff can go back. But when it comes to moments like this, it's like, what does it mean? And this is something that I'm asking myself. I know that he's doing it with the best intentions, but what does it mean to take away someone's choice to model their place? Did he do it for his own good, or because he was asked to help, or not? And that's huge. That because I get a weird feeling, right? Send it to me, cough me, send it to me, DM it to me. I get a weird feeling that we might get like insane. Like if I was like the artist, I would draw it where he's looking out at, like, you know, the door, the sliding door, whatever, is open, and the moonlight is reflecting in, and the white sheets are blowing out, and the bed is there, you know, maybe hastily made, and the light is just hitting our main character. And even though that house might now have furniture and all of these beautiful things, it's not a home. And it's still not a home. And I'm like, ooh, talk about symbolism even through change. That's an aspect that's running through my mind right now. That's too cute. We just got that out of nowhere. They just dropped it and left.
あの野郎入らないじゃねえかよ。どうすんだよクソ。はあ、
なにため息ついてんだ。
イッサさん、スミスさん。
あれ、今日は二階堂は一緒じゃないの？あ、そうだ、 NHK 杯見たぞ。お前の対局、つが二階堂の熱い解説。
心にちゃんと刻んだか桐山ギューン。あの名台詞の数々を。やっぱ友情って素晴らしいよな。おっといけねえ、思い出しただけでもツンとくるぜ。
放送のあった日、ちょうどうちの師匠の誕生会でさ、夜みんなで録画したやつ見てたんだけど。
本当に勝ちたいなら粘れ。攻めるだけじゃなくちゃんと守れ。
あれ、なんだろう。目から水が。いい子だ。おっといかん。年は取りたくないの。最近どうも涙もろくて。
二階堂、お前ってやつは。
いや、もう大の大人が揃いも揃って、みんなもう涙目。
Something I come in question of, and I'm kind of curious if this show's going to explore, is what happens to a lot of those individuals who just completely lose sight in Shogi, who they've been involved all their life, but they can no longer sustain themselves, and say that they try and get a job, but the job market's just it's like garbaggio, and now they're like stranded in between the worlds of what was and what is. And how do you navigate that field as an adult in a profession like this, right? I.e., I've seen a lot of professionals who they dedicate their entire lives into one thing, and all of a sudden their time is up, and they try and go back in, like, you know, reintegrate back in, and it's oof. You know, and if it's not just that, it's like, what, for example, what are the labor conditions, or what, like, just in terms of them in general, like, because you could be a professional, it doesn't even have to be them, but it's like any of the main characters. This is just something that I'm like, my brain is constantly thinking about, like, what would it mean for someone older who has spent a majority of their life doing one professional thing that has to maybe step out, or even if it's like for the younger generation that maybe is not even caring about that, like, that anymore. It's like, how do you guide people in that way? For example, I always forget her name, the younger sister, the middle sister of the One-chan, Like for her, right? It's like, how would you guide someone like her? How would you talk to someone like her? Right? And how do you think she would excel? Hina, yeah.
後で聞いたんだけど、撮影の後二階堂貧血を起こして座り込んじまったらしいぜ。
I always forget.
二階堂が
エネルギー使ったんだろうな、相当。一生懸命だったもんな。なあ、なのにな。
なあ、もう。なんかお前のハートに今一つ届いてない感じがほんと悔しいんだよな。二階堂は6勝したぞ。ものすげえ集中してる。多分今季は昇級する。多分今頭の中は C1 でお前と戦うことでいっぱいだ。頼むよ桐山、二階堂をがっかりさせないでくれ。
Don't disappoint.
3勝3敗。ここで踏みとどまらないとずるずると滑り落ちて高級点がつく。一度ついた高級点は来季以降勝ち越さないと消すことはできない。2つ溜まると下のクラスへ落ちてしまう。マイナスを塗り返すための戦いは前に進むための戦いより消耗が激しい。
Bro, then don't lose.
父の B1 からの高級がかかった長年の一進一退をずっと同じ屋根の下で見つめていて体中に染み込むほど感じた。
自分を大切に、自分の将棋を大切にしてくれ。頼む。
二階堂のあのエネルギーはどこから来るんだろう。体だって決して丈夫じゃないのに自分を疑ったりしないのだろうか。前へ前へと進もうと粘るあの熱。そばにいると胸が苦しくなるんだ。ますます自分が嫌になりそうで。
それにしても本当よく描けてるわね。
No.
ひなもももも楽しかったみたい。
What I'm scared of is he thinks that Nikaido, like if he's like, when you're in a depressed state, right, or when you're going through a really, really rough time, when you start thinking that like, hey, Nikaido could replace me, or that you're a replacement, or that anyone can easily come in and replace you, who you are as an individual, or anything like that. That's what I'm starting to fear. I'm starting to fear that he would think something like that, or he would feel something like that. Like, yeah, no, I could, like, you know, it's easy to replace me. It's easy to do certain things. And I know I've had that feeling before in friendships, and even, you know, at home, I felt like that before, where it's like, if I was gone, would anyone really care? You know, like thoughts like that may come and go, especially the impact that you may have in a family system. But I think when it comes to them, it's like, you're not just a person that comes along once in a blue moon, you know, you're you. And this family loves you for who you are. In relationships too. Exactly, Brady. Even in relationships, I think that that's a constant thing that, like, you know, may pop up from time to time. Being in a deep, you know, in a dark hole, and how else to state it other than this, being in a dark hole can fundamentally, if we're not able to address a lot of the comments, the inner dialogue that we have with ourselves, the negative self-talk, 101 other aspects out there, it can really mess us up, guys. It's one of those few things that I think doesn't get taught enough about school, in school at all, about, like, you know, self-love, self-preservation, self-care, going up and getting checked every so often, for physical health and whatnot. You know, it's promoted in general, but it's not, like, taught how to do it. How do you maintain friendships? How do you establish healthy boundaries? How do you establish healthy boundaries with yourself? How do you deal with depression? When do you seek out help? How do you do certain things? Like, it's been interesting to know Like wanting to offend you. Yeah. You wonder if communication would be welcome. JP, absolutely. And sometimes even being scared of that, right? Because what if you communicate with them and then nothing comes out of it? You don't get a response. You get left unread. So on and so forth. It is a terrifying moment. And sometimes that's why, like, those self-talk moments can really impact us a lot.
肉球パンチをお見舞いするにゃ。ももダメ。にゃ嫌がってるでしょ。冷蔵庫に絵本のコピー貼って覚えようとしてるくらいよ。それを見ておじいちゃんは。
いいよな。プロに二人がかりで教えてもらえるやつなんざそうそういないぜ。
True.
もしかしたらすっげえ強くなっちまうかもよ。こりゃ負けられねえな。つうか俺が教えてほしいよ。だって孫と将棋ができるの楽しみ。
Dude, this One-chan can just take my heart, dude.
そうやって考えると将棋って不思議ね。何百年も昔からあって盤と駒さえあれば今でも普通に家で楽しめて、しかも一回覚えてしまえば大人も子供も全然関係なくみんな真剣に楽しめるなんてね。それも一生不思議なゲームね。わあ、にゃーちゃん変身した。
あかりさんのその言葉でよぎったのは父の面影だった。小さく前後に体をゆすりながら左手を頬に当てて腕を組む。夢中になると自然に現れる父の癖。その姿を見るのが好きだった。
Self-soothing behavior?
ずっと勉強して頭がキリキリとなるくらい頑張らないと見れなかったけど、その仕草が見たくて必死に頑張った。優しくて周りに気ばかり使っていつも笑ってた父の何も取り繕ってない本当の顔。父さんが今の僕を見たら何と言うだろう。そうだ、なんで忘れてたんだろう。僕は今父さんが焦がれた騎士の世界に立っているんじゃないか。
I mean, you said it, that he longed for.
なんで忘れていられたんだろう。こんな大事なことを。
I think a beautiful aspect of this whole show is the cinematography. It doesn't rush you. The show allows you the time to think, to feel what you need to feel, to process what you need to process, and take those steps. Like, that's one big aspect as to why I like this show. I think in terms of it, you know, of casuality or of even like purpose, right? For example, if I were to pass away, whatever reason, I hope that in the future, you know, any aspect of any of the videos has helped someone along their way. For me, I don't know how else to put it. It's always an interesting journey of both self-acceptance, self-esteem, and growing. The scenes can be taken as printed art, absolutely. But like this whole journey of purpose, of finding yourself, of battling with depression, of all of that. It's like, if in the future, say for whatever reason, I'm not here in a couple of months or a year or whatever may happen. You know, if you end up stumbling on any of the videos, hey, I hope it's helped. I hope that you've learned something, grown, maybe even laughed along the way. Because at the end of the day, like, I guess our time is very limited, right? We blink and we're like cruising through time. The backgrounds are, yeah. My thing is this whole character progression, the backgrounds, everything is. Oh no, dude. Oh no. Oh no, dude. Just book it. Just book it.
久しぶりね、レイ。
小さい頃、真昼に雷を見た。水色の空に水銀をポロロと転がしたような淡い閃光。僕はその儚さに心を奪われた。たとえその輝きが後に重く激しい雨を連れてくるのだとしても。
元気そうじゃない。
どうしてここに？
どうして？変なこと言うわね。姉が一人暮らしを始めた弟を心配して様子を見に来るのってそんな不思議なことかしら。
駅まで送ります。もう遅いから。
なーに？入れてくれないの？せっかく来たのに。
This feels like a fucking vampire, dude. Like, she's waiting for the, like, introduction to be able to, like, come in. But it's also, hey, that's sort of what thunder does. In a rough storm.
なんでって散らかってるし。
いいわよ。見せてよ。
何もないですよ、見ても。
下手な言い訳バカじゃない？何もないなら散らかってもないでしょ。
ダメです。もう終電が。
冷えたの？足が。トイレに行きたいの。もう全部言わせないでよ、バカ。
Well, let's be straight up. Would you let her in? Guys, would you let her in? My thing is, it's interesting how both as a character letting her into his world like this is something else, dude. Letting her into his home is essentially letting her back into his world, where she might have that power again that she had when they were younger, where all of a sudden, you know, the sparks of abuse, and this is why it scares me, the sparks of abuse may come back, or forgiveness. What I'm genuinely terrified, and this is like as a person that goes through, I know I brought this up before, that goes through, I'll bring up my psych theories. That goes through issues like this, where it was like, you know, quite literally physical abuse and all of this shit. What I am scared of is that, like, there might be forms of SA. There might be forms of assault in here that are not going to be good. Like, emotional abuse, all of that, dude. You start putting it in there and it's like, what are they fighting for? You know, why do they continuously want to go here? Let her in, lock her in, and run. And run. Damn, dude, you're savage mode. And run. We find her, I'd let her in, not for her, but for the respect I have adopted for adopted. Well, my question for this is, why do you can put up boundaries with anyone, family included, friends included. You should even have boundaries for yourself. For example, if you know that, you know, going onto Twitter turns you into a toxic troll, then don't go into Twitter. Put up a boundary that you're limited on your time on there. Or so on and so forth. Like, this is why going over boundaries and talking about sexual self-acceptance and all of that is huge. Is absolutely huge, man.
やっと落ち着いた。ねえ、ここ地区何年？外見はボロっちいのに中は意外に綺麗なのね。
築26年。でも大家さんがちょうどリフォームしたばかりで。
ラッキーだったわね。ねえレイ、タオルちょうだい。ありがとう。 ねえ、なんでこの町にしたの？あなたこの町に何の縁もないわよね。
前一度仕事でこの辺に来て、川が広くて綺麗だったから。
川？何？あんた川とか好きだったっけ？
To be fair, we are getting feet shots for free.
10年も同じ家で顔を突き合わせていても何にも知らなかったってわけね。ねえ、寒いわ。
What?
この家どうにかなんない？
ああ、エアコン古いからあんま効かなくて。
うわっ。
ああ、勝手に開けないで。
あら生意気。
Hey yo!
羽布団じゃない。
The way that she's talking to him is so leading that it makes me uncomfortable. The way that she's bringing up conversational topics is so... When we talk with someone, we can have 3 responses. We can ping neutral, we can ping negative, or we can ping positive. Every single time that it starts, it looks like it's, you know, steady, steady, bing, steady, steady, bing, steady, steady, bing. It's like, what is she aiming at, dude? And there are people out there who do this unknowingly because of toxic behaviors that they have learned and they have picked up from past family members, so on and so forth. And it hurts, dude. I have family members like this, that they themselves don't catch themselves doing these lines of attacks because of like the way that they grew up, but it's a line of attack. Yeah. Because look, even this, the river, what? Were you a fan of rivers? I can't remember. Ping, ping negative. She could have said, were you a fan of rivers? Cool. Were you a fan of rivers? I can't remember. It's a ping negative. Think about that when people are talking to you. What are they pinging to get out of you? Is it a negative, a positive, or a neutral emotion? We lived under the same roof for 10 years, but it's like I barely know anything about you. Ping negative. In a weird way, it's like putting yourself in a position of power, or trying to put yourself in a position of power over just linguistically. And for me, this is disturbing because it's like very controlling, manipulative, and probably like traumatized individuals that tend to do this a lot, dude.
ねえ、寒いわこの家。どうにかなんない？
ああ、エアコン古いからあんま効かなくて。
うわっ。
勝手に開けないで。
あら生意気。なに立派な羽布団じゃない。
それは引っ越し祝いでもらったんです。
ほんともらったばっかなのね。あんたの匂いがまだしない。
Hey, yo?
へえ、すごい眺めね。これで本当に6階？高く見えるわ。川面が低いから。そう、こんなところに住んでたの。一人で探して一人で決めて。本当あんたって勝手よね。
Self-centered?
落ち込んでたわよ。どうやって借りたの？保証人は？
神宮寺会長が。
やっぱりあの人あんたに甘いもんね。
京子さん、終電が。
あんたが帰ればあの家に。その方が父さんも喜ぶわ。
I think it's because you just said it. You said why he's not going to go back. Why don't you go back home to that house? Because that house is not... If you're talking about your house, that's not a home. If you're talking about the house with all the girls, that's a home. I love it.
その方が父さんも喜ぶわ。ねえ、なんかシャツ貸してよ。眠くなっちゃった。
Hey, yo.
喧嘩したの、父さんと。
してない。っていうか会ってないの。ここんとこ私帰ってないし。
まだあの人といるの。
No, 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 no.
傷残らないで済んで。後藤はまともじゃないから。
JP.
あの人はダメだ。
Hoof.
あんたには関係ないわ。
手を挙げられたりしてない？
手を？私に？まさか。でももしそうなったとして、私がおとなしく殴られてると思う？
There's so many physical and emotional boundaries that she just violated that for me, all of my red flags are up. All of my, like, I'm at guard. The fact that she's just willing to sit there and grab your face and ooh, all of my boundaries go, like, especially after that troublesome, like, childhood and whatnot.
寝てるとこ、もう二度と起きれないくらいね。
そんなに？
え？好きよ。大好きよ。
Bruh. Bruh.
眠れなかったの？ダメじゃない。今日対局でしょ、順位戦の。相手誰だっけ？
That's kind of fucked. That's kind of fucked though. Like, you show up on the night that he has to prepare for a match against, like, a promotion opportunity. That's kind of fucked though, dude. Like, I ain't gonna say that. And you go and you tell him that you love this other guy that's very abusive and, like, you know, can be very abusive and all of this stuff. Like, oh.
何歳だっけ？64、65？よく頑張るわよね。C1 まで落ちてもフリークラスには移らないで粘り続け、必死の形相っていうの？父さんと指してるの見たことあるわ。しがみつくような将棋、鬱陶しかった。そんなになってもやめられないなんて、きっと本当に将棋が大好きなのね。
Bruh.
あなたと違って。
Bruh.
ああ、そうそう。松永さん C1 から降級したらついに引退するらしいわよ。気が重いでしょう。長生きして老いた犬の首を絞めに行くようなものだものね。
Why are you pinging negative like this before a match, dude? You're like straight up, that was your whole mission. Fuck him up, dude. Fuck him up emotionally, intellectually. Have him start feeling guilty and shittier than he already is. Oh, I believe in gender equality, and I am a part of the Kazu Trash community, which includes drop kicking people for trying to mess with your mental health.
わかるわ。誰だってそんな役買って出たくないもの。
The guilt trip is, yeah.
なんか心配なのよね。あなたってこういう時、
Drop
わざ
kick.
と負けてあげたりしちゃうんじゃないかとか思っちゃって。ほら、あなたって優しいから。
Fuck you?
出ていく彼女の髪が日に透けて一瞬鈍く光った。そしてその光はやがて激しい雨を連れてくるのだ。
Okay, guys, genuine question. Your introduction to her as a character right now as an adult in this episode, how did you guys feel? I am fucking pissed. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that she had the gall to go ahead and come over and, like, fake everything. She didn't have to stay that late. She could have come on any other day before. Like, could have been like after the tournament or after the match or after whatever. The way that they wrote her is so powerful, dude. It's powerful to write a good character that can be hated, right? But at the same time, they're all human. And I want to reiterate this. Everyone is human. We all fuck up in some way, shape, or form, right? you might, for example, you might have a teacher who might be really, really mean to you, or not mean to you, but you might see her be really mean to, like, or strict on a person that's getting bullied or something, but it might just be because she's getting traumatized or because she's been bullied in the past, and seeing that happen just enables that fight or flight type of thing, you know. Or, you know, you might see a person that, like, is just having a really shitty day and is letting it out on others because for him, this is the first shitty day he's had in a long time, and it's just everything going downhill. Like, we're all human in a way, and my thing is, I don't want to classify her as a villain because I don't think she's a villain. I think she's just someone that's gone through a lot of shit and probably has some really bad cognitive distortions, but it is written in such a way that it's easy to hate. It's easy to look at and be like, ooh, that would hurt. Because here's the thing, I've had an ex like that. I've had an ex that would do stuff like that. I used to have someone would ping negatively, who would use these downturned words before competitions for martial arts, before certain things. Literally, like the night before a tournament, same thing. She would call and say, hey, I love you, I miss you, I'm gonna come over, we're gonna do this, that. And she would come over and it would just be like guilt trip after guilt trip after guilt trip. Come performance, yeah, I did okay, but it was always like something lingering on your mind. The impact that words can have is huge. Fuck, guys. And that's what I'm saying is, and this comes from generational trauma and trauma of expectations for her, and how she tried to use others as displacement tools, you know? That's what I'm saying. This anime is something else, man. Okay, this is just gonna be a preview. This anime is something else with the realness that comes with it, with the moments of like introspectiveness and just like tranquil moments that you're able to take from it. Huge.